Good morning and welcome to worship with the community of the First Unitarian Church of Omaha. My name is Dave Richardson and I'll be serving as the worship associate today. Whether you are attending online or in person, we are glad you have chosen to join us for worship. Additionally, our thoughts also go out to our fellow Omahans who were severely impacted by Friday's tornado, which caused significant property loss and disruption of lives for many families, particularly in the Elkhorn area of Omaha and in Blair, Nebraska. Special welcome to visitors. This congregation is a community of all ages and abilities. It is a community with a rainbow of gender and sexual identities. It is a community of diverse cultural and class backgrounds. We draw from many sources of inspiration and share common liberal religious values. Whoever you may be, we welcome you to bring your whole self into this community. If you are joining us online, you are encouraged to create a YouTube account to sign into when you attend online. This will give you access to the comment feature in YouTube. You can use comments to share joys and concerns that will be lifted up in worship, and to say hello to other online attendees, or to share something about how the service connected with you. For those here in person, you are invited after the service to go down to the common room for coffee and conversation. Our service today is a very special one. It is the second in our two-part series of services honoring the 105th anniversary of the birth of Willa Cather, the great American author. You may recall the previous service honoring Ms. Cather featured the award-winning sculptor Littleton Alston, whose statue of her now resides in Statuary Hall in our nation's capital. Today's service honors Cather's work in another art form, and that is music. Music and nature are frequent themes in her work. Both are elements of the work of today's guests. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Bel Canto Duo, which consists of Darcy Gambrell and David Downing. Here's a brief introduction to them. These are in Darcy's own words. Lifetimes collide, brought together by friends, a shooting star, in an open mic night. Bel Canto Duo was founded in 2016 by looping artist and cellist David Downing and English horn specialist Darcy Griffith Gambrell. Bel Canto's mission is to create meaningful connection by providing world-class classical crossover music and entertaining and engaging format. The group combines their minimalist cross-genre compositions with classical music favorites and healing music therapy. Our church occupies the traditional treaty lands of the Omaha and Otoe-Missouri tribal nations, whose sovereignty existed long before the state of Nebraska. We would also like to express our respect to the Ponca tribe of Nebraska, the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska, the Santee Sioux tribe of Nebraska, and over 170 other tribes represented within the Omaha area. At First Unitarian Church of Omaha, we invite all to join us to go beyond acknowledgments by educating ourselves and supporting causes, charities, and rights of indigenous peoples in this state. This morning, Mark Luskatoff will light the flaming chalice, the symbol of our faith. As the chalice is lit, I invite you all to join in the chalice lighting words, which appear in the order of service. Spark of the Spirit, cupped in earth's embrace, light of love, alive in all creation. As we kindle the flame, we rekindle our connection to the sacred web of life. Mark will also present an announcement relating to our annual congregational meeting.
Well, in case you haven't heard, next Sunday is the annual meeting of the congregation. It'll be held here in person only, starting at 10:30, taking the place of our regular Sunday church service.
Thank you, Mark. I know you're looking forward to passing on the gavel. A few announcements. The UU The Vote team will once again be available in the common room during coffee hour to assist with online voting registration and to answer any questions. You can also sign the petition to amend the Nebraska State Constitution to guarantee the right to abortion care in Nebraska. The UU The Vote group will also meet on Thursday, May 9th, 7 o'clock on Zoom. Further information will be available in the Friday e-blast. The book club will meet on Zoom on Monday, April 29th at 7. The book is Democracy Awakening by Heather Cox Richardson. Also, I wanted to call attention to a new poster out in the foyer. It is the renewal, poster indicating our renewal as a welcoming congregation. To find out what else is going on this week, you can scan the QR code or take a printed e-news in the foyer. Our call to worship this morning is from Mary Oliver, the unofficial poet laureate of Unitarian Universalism. I was really hoping that this would be a bright, sunny day to reflect what's in the poem. Hello, sun in my face. Hello, you who made the morning and spread it over the fields and into the faces of the tulips and the nodding morning glories, and into the windows of even the most miserable and crotchety. Best preacher that ever was. Our opening hymn is Come Sing a Song With Me, number 346.
Sing a song with me.
is our time for all ages. Young people and young at heart are invited to come forward to hear the story for all ages. Today, the story is The Prairie That Nature Built. It'll be presented by Russell Porter.
Good morning. Is this going to be everybody? Boy. Well, this is going to be easy. Obviously, I'm not Christina, and I can't find the book, but I can read off the monitors, so we can read a little. This is the book called The Prairie That Nature Built. This is the prairie that nature built. There are critters that worm and squirm, alive in the dirt so dark and thick, under the prairie that nature built. Some of the critters squirm so small, without a glass you can't see them all. But they are big eaters, builders too, making good earth from animal poo. Sure. They are diggers with tunnels so deep, making safe burrows for prairie pups to sleep. Alongside the critters that worm and squirm, alive in the dirt so dark and thick, under the prairie that nature built, prairie dogs dig tunnels galore and lucky for owls, snakes, ferrets, and more. These are the roots that plunge so deep, long and strong, holding water to keep, down past the burrows where prairie pups sleep, alongside the critters that worm and squirm, alive in the dirt so dark and thick, under the prairie that nature built. Such long, strong roots can save the day. When rain you want still stays away. Not this week, though. These are the plants that shoot so high, seeking food from above, sunlight sky, up from the roots that plunge so deep, down past the burrows where prairie pups sleep, alongside the critters that worm and squirm, alive in the dirt so dark and thick, under the prairie that nature built. The sky-reaching plants turn towards the sun, following the path of its east to west run. You see the critters? These are the insects so fragile and shy. The buzzing and whirling brings pollen by to the plants that shoot for the sky, up from the roots that plunge so deep, down past the burrows where the prairie pups sleep, alongside the critters that worm and squirm, alive in the dirt so dark and thick, under the prairie that nature built. Some of the butterflies whirl from so far, they traveled from Mexico without a car? These are the birds that sing and fly, chomping the insects that bring pollen by, to all the plants that shoot from the sky, from the roots that plunge so deep. Some high-soaring birds went looking to eat, find prairie dog meat a tasty treat. These are the grazers, munching so mild, on grasses and flowers, stomped and piled. Under the birds that sing and fly, chomping the insects that bring pollen by, to the plants that shoot from the sky, up from the roots that plunge so deep, down past the burrows where prairie pups sleep, alongside the critters that worm and squirm, alive in the dirt so dark and thick, under the prairie that nature built. The four-hoofed grazers like to mosey in herds and calmly chew grasses, lie groomed by birds. These are the hunters, so skillful and wild. Now it's time to put on the reading glasses. It is. Yeah. Preparing to pounce on the grazer so mild, under dark clouds where thunder booms. For all the prairie, danger looms. This is the lightning that sparks a fire, so red hot and swift it moves without tire, flaming the flowers and blazing the grasses, chasing the animals rushing in masses. This is the rain that spatters the ground and quenches the fire that blazed all around. Months later, surprise, quite out of the blue, out pops green stalks, all bright and brand new, painting the ashes with color and dew, the blazing fire that blackened the reeds from the ground, and out burst seeds. This is the one when taking a walk, found a bloom upon the green stalk. You saw the lightning and felt the rain that killed the fire and called the plain. Who heard the birds singing so high and smelled the flowers where insects flit by and sported the duckies to hide in tunnels so deep, plunging past roots stretching so deep, alongside the critters that worm and squirm alive in the dirt so dark and thick under the prairie that nature built. This is the prairie that grows so free. This is the kid that loves it. Me. Thank you for letting me be a part of your day.
Thank you, Russell, for filling in for Christina. Each week, we share our blessings with others through a community offering. Half of the loose currency in the offering plate is donated to a local cause, which resonates with UU values. If you're online or prefer to give via your smartphone, you can use the QR code or link provided in the order of service. Our Share the Plate recipient for April is NAMI, N-A-M-I, which stands for the National Alliance for Mental Illness. It is a grassroots organization dedicated to education, support, and advocacy for lives that have been touched by mental illness. now enter into a time of care and centering, let us share joys and concerns. Those online can put items to be shared in the comment area. Colin McDonald will read those items which have been submitted in advance and items which have been submitted this morning.
From Patricia Pyatt, asking for good thoughts and wishes to be sent to my friend Gary in Wyoming, who is being treated for colon cancer, and reminding people to get a colonoscopy to prevent this horrible illness.
Thank you, Colin. We'll now sing our centering song. It's number 123, Spirit of Life. That'll be followed by a period of contemplation. On the wings of this music, I invite you to rest your eyes, sit comfortably, and turn in your inmost being as we observe a time of silence for your inward reflection. I'll end the period of silence with the sound of the bell. I'm now going to turn things over to Darcy Gamrell, who will provide us with an introduction to their composition, Four Cather Tableaux.
Good morning. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for inviting us this morning. It's a real pleasure. I wanted to share a little bit about this whole process and how we came across the work of Willa Cather and our subsequent commission. In the words of Willa Cather herself, "I want my heroine to be like this, like a rare object in the middle of a table which one may examine from all sides." It's from my Antonia. So as we came across the sesquicentennial celebration of Willa Cather and approached the National Willa Cather Center for a possible collaboration. Everything was kind of up in the air. We had no idea what would result. And thankfully, they were up for a collaboration, and they selected 4 different texts, all celebrating their 100th year anniversary. So each of our movements is commemorative of that. There is a handout, which hopefully most of you got, that has the text from the first from the Nebraska pre-settlement essay that Cather published when she was in Pittsburgh in 1923. The second movement, Dawn, is from The Lost Lady, and the third is from her collection of poetry, which if you are a poetry fan, I would highly recommend that you purchase. And then the final Nebraska post-settlement is from Prairie, Spring, April Twilights. Oh, that's, I think, yes, April Twilights and Other Poems. I think that's an error in my comments. Yes, it's from one of ours. So the quintessential American sound is what we had in mind when we were looking at writing for the opening of this suite. Very Copland-esque kind of sonorities, indicative of the open prairie, the vistas described by Cather herself, basically as alien when she moved from out east. So the work of the first piece also draws on a Native American-inspired theme. We were taken to Bear Butte, the sacred site of the Lakota, with Chief Black Spotted Horse, who actually happened to be the stepdad of our neighbor. We had no idea, and this was before Cather actually came about. So he invited us out to Bear Butte, sat us down, and then said, "Everybody turn around, you're facing the wrong direction," and got a good laugh out of it. So he spent the afternoon with us and gave us a sacred tobacco ceremony, showed us the sweat lodges, and told us stories of his ancestors and their time there, the vision quests of Crazy Horse. So as we were leaving the Black Hills, a melody came to mind, and I documented it on my phone at a gas station. Our girls said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm just recording this. I don't know when I'm going to use it." But it came to mind as we were preparing this first movement. And when we went to Red Cloud to premiere the work, the history of the Native American tribes came into play as the Pawnee had left the area. They were driven out by the Lakota Sioux, who declared a vendetta on them. And so it was interesting that melody that I had chosen to use then ends the piece in the solo cello part. It's very symbolic of what actually happened historically. So the second work, Dawn rather, from The Lost Lady, was inspired by some time in nature, and we very much have a lovely series of melodies that intertwine throughout that. You'll also hear different nature-inspired sounds. So the first 2 movements, as a collaborative writing team, I wrote much more traditionally at the piano. Our final 2 movements were written by David in collaboration with me, but his writing style is much different. It's all orally based, so nothing is actually written down. So we wrote the movements together, recorded them, and then we had to decide for the last 2 how to actually notate them, which was probably the biggest challenge of the project for the live premiere in Red Cloud last June. So the question for us as we move forward with this project is not only finding a place where our work belongs, and it seems to be in the area of preserving our heritage. So the work of Willa Cather, her statue that was unveiled in DC, which you heard about last week, all of these things are starting to come to light to people, to have a little bit more attention, and well-deserved attention. Her writing is beautiful and something that I had not encountered before this project. So we find ourselves attempting to revitalize this rich heritage that we have, particularly here in Nebraska. It's something that we hold very close. And in fact, we are currently working on a documentary that will be premiered at the Willa Cather conference in early June. I believe it's the 6th, that Thursday evening. Unfortunately, we are unable to be there for the premiere, but I would encourage you, if you've been thinking about a trip out to Red Cloud, it's quite amazing, and they've just finished the rehabilitation of her childhood home, the renovation of that, and it's beautifully done. So that full-length documentary will premiere that Thursday of the conference, and then there's a short video that will also play the parts of the Cather Tableaux in the Willa Cather Museum at the National Cather Center. It has been a great privilege for us to embark on this project. We hope you enjoyed the work. I don't want to talk for too long, but our goal, as we have seemingly found our place almost by accident, is to continue to highlight the heritage of the great artists of our nation, whether it be in the genre of writing or sculptors, and we have future exciting announcements about our upcoming commission work and collaboration. So please feel free to stay up to date on our website, belcantoduo.com. We're really excited about some of the future things, including possible collaboration in Pittsburgh at the Frick and Daniel Chester French's Chesterwood. So hope you'll stay tuned for those projects. So our music is for future generations. May it live on. And may Cather, as she so eloquently put it, have a veritable explosion of life out of the dark cave into the sunlight. Thank you so much for having us.
closing words are very brief. They are from Willa Cather. The end is nothing. The road is all.
Thank